Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I just thought I would do a favorites of 2024. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this video because I don't really have my thoughts gathered about these books, and for some of them it was a while ago, but I'm just gonna list them out and maybe things will come to me, maybe not. But yeah, let's just start. I think it's kind of gonna go from most recent to, hold on, my lips are super chapped. Most recent to least recent, just because that's the way I was looking through my reading app. So let's get into it. The first one I have on this, I actually wrote this list a little bit ago, but the first one I have is, wait, let me make sure I have the authors' names here. That would be bad if I didn't have the names of the authors. Okay. Hold on. Well, I'll just start. Okay. Okay, sorry. The first book is Just by Looking at Him by Ryan O'Connell. I just thought this was a really sweet a book about relationships and friendships, and I guess, I don't know, finding contentment or self-discovery. There was a few different things going on in this book, but I just thought it was extremely atmospheric, and I really just love any book that can really transport me, and it helps when it's in an area that I'm familiar with. So this book is based in LA, and that really helps. But even the areas that it went, like, I think there's a couple scenes in Provincetown. I've never been to Provincetown, but I still felt like I could really picture it. So yeah, I really like that book. Super easy read. A lot of these books on here will be books that I was able to read like in a super timely manner because I just enjoyed them so much. So the second book is Lithium for Medea, Kate Braverman. I just said that these books are books that I read really quickly, but with Lithium for Medea, it actually took me a while to get through this book. I don't know why it took me so long, but it kind of was, I think, because of her writing style. She's very poetic in her prose, and so it almost felt like sometimes you weren't reading a novel, like you were just reading poems or something. And for that reason, it took me a little bit longer to get through. That being said, I feel like it was one of the better written books that I read this year, and it was one that really stuck with me. And it was also a movie, or it was also a book about parents, about mothers and about fathers, and about addiction and grief, and yeah, I just really liked it. Thought it was beautifully written, and honestly, like, really deep. I know that's not like a good word to use, I guess, but yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it really stuck with me. So the next one was Elena Knows by Claudia Pinheiro. This was another one that really stuck with me afterwards. I loved the descriptive writing. I loved how you really, like, it's almost like you were, as you were reading, you were her body and you were her brain, and like every movement, everything was thought out, and we as the audience, we as the reader, were part of that thinking process. And that's the part of that book that I really enjoyed. I liked how both the main characters were like very flawed, unlikable people. Elena and her daughter were like, yeah, just not pleasant people. And Elena really has this kind of wake-up call, I guess, or is confronted by things towards the end of the book that she was definitely not expecting. And it's a very just confronting, intense book. And towards the end, I really was not expecting what happens at all. And I was wondering, where was this going? Because it was almost over, and I was like, where is this going? And yeah, it was honestly like shocking, and she was able to do so much with so little, really. So I really loved this book. The next one is Plastic by Scott Guild. This was probably the weirdest book I read this year or last year. It's essentially about plastic people, like figurines, and it is also goes in between the story of the main plastic character and her favorite television series. And it was really hard at some points to figure out whether she was talking about herself, or like if we were in her story or if we were in the television show. And it also eventually reveals that the television show is like her father's story as a kid. So it was very confusing. But that being said, it was so fun. And another one that it just really stuck with me. And I highly recommend reading it. The next one is The Shards. I'm obsessed with The Shards. I am definitely maybe going to reread that book this year at some point. Maybe in the summer. It seems like a summery read for me. And yeah, what's not to love? I think it's his best book. Oh, Bret Easton Ellis. Yeah, I think it's his best book. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It was just a really fun time. Another of his books that's on this list, going out of order a little bit, is Glamorama. Crazy, Cuckoo Bananas, and very confusing, but really fun. Okay, let's move on. We've got The Housemates by Emma, oh my god, what's her name? Emma Copley Eisenberg. This book was so delightful and enjoyable and fun, and I liked how modern it was. I like how it depicted these modern progressive girls, and yeah, I just thought it was just very fun. Okay, I was interrupted, but I'm back. The next book on this list is The Goldfinch. I keep calling them movies. This book by Donna Tartt was crazy. It was really like trauma porn. That being said, it was so enjoyable. This is like, what's that book that people love that's like about that guy that, like, what's it called? A Little Life? The Goldfinch is My Little Life. That's all I'm gonna say. What else? Okay, we have 2 more books on this list. The first is Play It As It Lays by Joan Didion. I think this is my favorite book of 2024. This was another one that took me a little bit. It took me a little bit. I was reading it on the e-reader, whatever. I was reading it as an ebook. And I think at the beginning of the year, I said it was a lot easier to read ebooks. It really depends on the genre. I find that for the novel, it is harder. And for non-fiction books, it's easier. I don't know what that's about, but I just loved Play It As It Lays. I love how it was so so sparse and like conservatively written. Not conservative like politically, but you know what I mean. Like had no filler, and it was such a show not tell book, which I kind of think Lithium from Medea was like that too, even though I say it was very poetic. It was somehow both. But Play It As It Lays is just like, I think it's just like a perfect book. I honestly do. So dark, so miserable, and also just so enjoyable to read. I don't know. I definitely want to reread that as well. Okay, the last book is Indelicacy by Amina Kane. This was another kind of book, like, well, okay, no, scratch that. I really liked this book. I liked how it was very, internal, and, it was, okay, somewhere between the last couple books, my brain is completely shut down. And now I'm having trouble, like, thinking, but Indelicacy, what do I feel about that book? I just really liked it. I don't know. It was short, it was sweet. It told, again, it was another simple thing, a simple premise that was able to be stretched so far from this author. And it was just a beautifully written book. And that is my top 10 reads of 2024. If you watched this whole video, thank you for watching, and I'm going to go watch Numbers. Did anyone watch Numbers? With David Krumholtz and Rob Morrow. I used to be obsessed with that show, and I just found it on the TV. And so I'm gonna go watch that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.